Hey guys, what's going on? It's Tyler from Sessions Music here. I just want to take a quick moment and bring you guys another quick tutorial. This time I wanted to show you some very basic sidechaining effects in Pro Tools using some stock plugins. For those of you who don't know what sidechaining is, what it is when you have a compressor on a audio track or whatever kind of track you're working with, and you're sending an external audio source to that compressor, so the compressor is reacting to that external source. And what that can achieve is some sort of a pumping or a ducking effect, depending on what you're really looking for. Um, and I know that's kind of very confusing to think about when you're just talking about it, but let me just take a quick moment and show you guys how I went about it and what I kind of got out of it when I did it in this session. So what I have here is a session, it's a song I was working on with my friend Alyssa. We had just met up to collaborate on something and do something fun, and this is what we ended up with. So real quick, let me just show you the section that we're working with. Cool. So that's the section we're working with, and more specifically, let me just solo out the synth that I was doing the side chaining with. This already has a lot of movement to it, but when we were writing the song, I just felt like there needed to be a little bit more. So let me show you what it was like when before I added the side chaining. Cool. So that's the sound of what I had before I added the side chaining effect. And it already has a lot of movement, like I said, and I really like the sound, but I really wanted to have more of a pulse to it. So what I did to achieve that is the first thing I did is I printed down my click track. So that way this is going to be my external source that I'm using. I just wanted to pulse with the beat of the music, so that was the easiest thing to use. So I've got my click track printed here all the way through the song, and I'm actually going to keep that track muted the whole time. So we don't want that to be really playing over our music the whole time, obviously. We just kind of want it to be playing in the background. So after you've got your external source, it can be a kick drum or whatever you're working with. I just chose the click track. But once you've got this set up, you're going to go to your buses, and I already have one here set sidechain. Now this is just a mono bus that I have labeled sidechain, and you're going to want to send it to Unity and send it pre-fader. So when you send it pre-fader, now it's going to ignore this mute button, and it's still going to send that audio signal to the compressor, but you're not going to hear the click track playing in the background of your music. So once we've got all that set up, we're just going to want to add the compressor to our synth or whatever track you're working with. So I'm going to go here, Dynamics, and open up the BF76. This is just a stock 1176 plugin that comes with Pro Tools. This is my favorite plugin to use for sidechaining just because it's super easy to use. Not all plugins have this key input available, so that's super helpful. And it's just super basic and straightforward. It's not too many things to worry about with this plugin. So first thing I want to do is I'm going to go to that key input, and I'm going to go to my bus that I created, the sidechain bus, and send it there. So now the compressor is no longer going to be reacting to the riff track. It's going to be reacting to the click track. So it's just going to it's going to be sending that constant beat to the compressor. So next I'm going to play with my attack, my release settings. I know I want my attack to be as short as possible. I want the compressor to kick on as soon as that click track hits. So I'm going to send that all the way up. And then I'm also just going to send the release as fast as possible because I want it to just be a very quick pulse that you're going to kind of get to flow with the music, the beat of the music. And next I'm just going to send these straight up 12 o'clock. And so these are just the settings that worked for me. I know this is what I was looking for, so this is what I went to. if you're working on your music, play with the attack and release and try new things. Sometimes it's not always just slam it as fast as it can go. You might want to try with a slower release, or to give it some time to really open up and stuff like that. So try new things. Don't just stick with my settings. So now we're pretty much set. We've got the compressor all set up. We've got the sidechain sending to it. I'm gonna bypass this, and I'm gonna play back the music, and then I'm gonna unbypass it as we're listening, and just listen to the difference. You're gonna kind of feel more of a pulse and a pump as the synth goes on. It's gonna be pretty subtle, but I felt like it added a lot to the music as a whole. Cool. So I like I said, it's kind of subtle, and you don't really notice it at first. So let me solo that out for you, and I'll do the same thing. I'm going to let it play the first loop through, and then I'll unbypass it the second time through. Here we go. Cool. So now you can really hear that effect. As soon as I kick that compressor on, you start getting this huge pulsing feeling out of that synth, which is exactly what I was looking for. I like doing this as opposed to doing volume automation, just because volume automation can take a little bit longer. And this kind of gives you just a little bit of a more of a pump and a pulse than just doing volume automation. So it's a really cool thing to do, just on synths. A lot of people do sidechain their kick to their bass, so that way the bass will duck out every time the kick hits, so you get a little bit more pump on that. There's all kinds of different ways to do it in production and in mixing. So try different things out, experiment. If you have any cool ways of doing sidechaining, or if there's a different way that you go about it, please comment down below and let me know what you're doing, or if there's something else that you've been trying and working with, let me know. I'd like to see what you're doing and kind of try it out for myself. And if you have any suggestions for future videos, please let me know. I'd be happy to kind of pull together some tutorials based on what you're looking to learn. These are super fun for me to do, and I love to interact with everybody. So let me know what you guys think. Like, comment, share, and until next time, keep making music.